How can we divide $100 billion of aid among 4 receivers, including Somalia, Yemen, South Sudan, and Vietnam? And how much should each wealthier countries give, including Japan, United States, and China? Does any country want to propose its wish from these $100 billion?
Vietnam uses it for like infrastructures and providing the food supply for the parts of Vietnam.
Thank you, Vietnam. Yemen, you may now have the floor.
Dear Chairman, delegates, and specific Vietnam. For our Yemen, we did not think about the number of money that we want, because we care about what other countries want too. So we listen to them first. Then we would choose what exact number that we want. However, is that too selfish if Vietnam say that you just take half of the money away easily like that? Another problem is that we're talking about world hunger, not making the country become better in infrastructure, right? Yemen know that Vietnam have a lot of traffic jam and pollution, and sorry about that. However, a life of a person right now is more important. Pollution do not kill people as much as hunger, like pollution from traffic jam, and more specifically. So instead of using half of that amount of money for your infrastructure, I think that we should divide it fairly to every developing country here. I mean, fairly here is not means that every country is the same amount number, but it's worth the number of people who are hungry right now in their country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yemen. Is there any other delegate who wants to raise a point? Vietnam, please, you may now have the floor.
As Yemen has a question directly to us, first, infrastructures used to in order to produce more efficiently, and it's also relates to the food, the world hunger. And secondly, the populations of Vietnam is the biggest towards all 4 countries. So I think that we deserve to have more money.
Okay, thank you very much. Yemen, you're recognized to speak.
As Vietnam said direct to us, we would like to reply that you said that your countries have the most population compared to 4 of us, I mean developing countries. But do you know that the life standard in Vietnam is so higher than the life standard in the other 3? The GDP of Vietnamese are much higher than us. You said that you have the most population, then you need the more money. But you don't have the most number of people who are in hunger right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yemen.
Point of information.
Secretary General.
South Sudan, Yemen, Somalia, and Vietnam.
Million?
13 million. South Sudan. 13. Somalia. 7 million.
Thank you, countries. Thank you, Ms. Secretary General. So, the chairwoman wants to make it clear that if we agree to what Yemen is suggesting, each country will give the amount of money that adequate to the population of hunger.
The number of hungry people.
the number of hungry people, then Yemen will have the most money, followed by South Sudan, Somalia, and then Vietnam.
14 or
14 một nửa dân số á.
United States,
I'm sorry?
I thought you raised the card.
No, I didn't.
United States, how much money, how much aid do you think your country should give?
I think that the US should give around $2 billion. 2 billion US dollar compared to, okay.
We want to make it clear that it's 2 billions over 100 billions that the
Yeah.
UN intended to give.
It's a total.
Oh, I just want to make sure he knows that 2 billion is over 100 billion, so
Oh.
that he intends. So he intends just to make 2 billions and leave 100 billion.
$100 triệu.
How about Japan and China?
Japan.
China, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Dear delegates, I think that to be equally the free country of us have to share the same amounts of money to the four country with $100 billion. That means we should give Vietnam, South Sudan, Yemen, and Somalia for each country is $25 billion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, China. Yemen, please.
We're developing countries like us are still confusing with developed countries a little bit because you just talk about the money, the number of money that you would divide in developing country, but do not talk about the money that you will put in. We want to know that which country would put in the most of this, so that we know that who's like, because right now there's some countries all allied together already, so we want to know more to become like have a trade better in the future.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much, Yemen. China, would you like to respond?
Somalia, can you give us some information about your country and because you were asked during the last conference, what will you use the aid for, the money? What does your country need?
Well, Somalia is quite very poor countries that because of their civil war, the Somalia need food donations and about 5 million that Somalia needs to donate, and that includes food, financials, and some and education and technology that can develop the Somalia and reduce the poverty. The 5 million that maybe more higher than 5 million that each developing country that need.
Okay, thank you, Somalia.
Japan. Oh, sorry. Japan. Would you like to talk about the amount of money you intend to contribute into this $100 billion of aid? Please, you may have the right to speak.
I think it's not fair when the US, China, and Japan have to share the amount of money equally because China is more developed than Japan and also the US. So I think both they have to share the most amount of money in 100 billion. Thank you.
Thank you, Japan. Does China and the US would like to respond to this? China, you may have the floor.
Dear delegates, in China now there's many social issues that we have to solve, and our residents are in hunger as well as those developing countries. So that we're not willing to give the most money among free countries. But I have the suggestion that among three of us, we could share the money into 33.3 billion of dollars to give for country. That's me. I am China. I spend out China's budget $33.3 billion, and I will give Vietnam 25 billion of dollars, and the remaining money I'll give to South Sudan, for example.
China, I want to make it clear, the amount of money that you say you're going to give to Vietnam and South Sudan, is that just an example, or is that what you intend to do?
Okay, to make the clear point, the previous things that I say is just an example, but about the number of money that we will give to the developing country is $33.3 billion.
All right. Thank you very much for this clarification. Are there any other delegates who want to make a point? I want us to be confirmed that money is a very sensitive issue, and it cannot be done in the unmoderated caucus part when everyone is not in the same table. So the compromise has to be reached now at the moderated caucus. And compromise needs to be reached through communication between countries. Vietnam, I mean, I have
There's delegates, I accept with the China's perspective that each developed countries receive $25 billion.
Each country will receive $25 billion. Okay. Thank you, Vietnam.
Point of information.
Please.
So China proposed that each developed country gives
Give the same amount.
25 billion to each of the 4 developed countries.
No, it's like the developed countries, like we give the same amount, like $1 billion, and Turkey is giving 33. And
So
then
how much will each, under that proposal, how much will each developed country receive?
You mean developing countries?
Developing, yes.
225 billion.
So each of the developing countries should receive the same.
Yes.
Vietnam with 1 million hungry people, and Yemen with 14 million hungry people.
This is my proposal.
That is just a proposal. Okay. Yemen, do you have any? All right.
Mr. Chairman, we think that according to the different amount of hungry people in each country, we cannot divide fairly like $25 billion for every 4 developing countries. So as I calculated, the number of money that each country will receive is for Somalia, as they have 7 million people in Hungary, they will receive 20 billion. For Vietnam, you will receive 13 billion. And for South Sudan and Yemen, the amount of number who are in Hungary is not so much different, so we will receive like 32 to 35 each. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Yemen, for the specific suggestion. Does Sudan has any opinions? South Sudan, please.
I think I agree with Yemen because in South Sudan is not much technology and food is more hunger than Vietnam, so I think we should make more money than South Sudan.
Okay. Thank you. United States, please.
Dear delegates, in the previous years, China donated the least amount of money in among 3 of the developed countries. So the U.S. thinks that each time China donated the most amount of money, the U.S. proposes China should donate 50 billion US dollar, and U.S. and Japan are going to donate. We will share the other half, yeah. And developing countries, because Yemen and South Sudan are having civil war, and Somalia, you guys are having civil war. So the U.S. thinks that you shouldn't take, so you shouldn't receive so much money because you could invest in a weapon. And Vietnam is a peaceful country, so that's why the small amount of hungry people they choose.
Point of information.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. United States, are you finished?
Yeah. Los Angeles, Vietnam should receive the most amount of money.
Go to U.S. Yemen, please.
Dear U.S., according to what source you said that China donated the least in the last year? First, we need the exact information. Like, we are not allies with you, so honestly, we not trust you. Second, you said that we have civil war. But if there's no one sell the weapon, then there will be no one buy it. You are the one who sell it. So you have to be responsible for this too. Again, you said that the responsible is not just the one who sell it, but the one who buy it too. But everything starts from the source of it. If you don't sell it, no one will buy it. If you don't create it, no one will have it. No civil war from that. You said that Vietnam is now a peaceful country in the most of us. But do you think that in Vietnam right now, like, a lot of people have gone to jail because they are tricked to each other using money? Like, I don't know how to explain this clearly.
You mean bribing?
But,
Yeah, bribing.
yeah, bribing. And Because of that, do you think that's become peaceful? The money just become losing its own value, and people are not so as peaceful as you think. We as developing country having civil war. We have civil war because we do not trust in each other, because we're not using bribing like that. We not treat each other like animals. We have civil war. Many people have been killed and wounded. But we do not make the value of the money lose, like Vietnam. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yemen. I just want to make it clear that according to the research from FAO, China donated $30 million to the FAO. The US donated $290, ranked first in the list of contributors. However, China is also now a partner of the FAO, which means China also receiving help from the FAO because it hasn't fully recovered from the poverty. You're welcome, China. Is this additional information? Because the information is not clear. Yemen.
As China is our allies, we think that if China still have poverty, then China give the most amount of money to FAO and the money will return back to China, it will be the same. And China will still be the same. China is a half developing and half developed country, but they still have poverty, they still have hunger. So won't you guys feel guilty for that? See, you're so selfish. Thank you. Everyone see that in yourself.
Alright, thank you, Yemen. So until now, we have a few suggestions on how the money can be distributed between four developing countries, and can be contributed among 3 developed countries. The first suggestions for the distribution of money is each country is going to receive the same, which is $25 billion. The second suggestion is the amount of money will be based on the ratio of people in hunger in each country, which states that Yemen and South Sudan will receive around $32 to $35 billion. Somalia will receive $20 billion, and Vietnam will receive $13 billion. That's the second suggestion. There are 2 options for the contribution among Japan, United States, and China. The first one is each state is going to contribute the same amount of money, $33.3 billion. And the second suggestion is, as the way that we distribute money, each country is going to contribute the money according to its ability, its economic ability. South Sudan.
So, now in 2019, civil war in South Sudan and Yemen is there, and we have a most natural resource. So, we can trade with US about the natural resource to have money. Do you agree with that?
The US, would you like to respond? the US. Would you like a response? You can take your time to think. Vietnam, please to recognize the speaker.
This is asked about like trade with the US. That's mean that like we want to take more amount of money or like you want to use the resource to like in order to achieve more money from other countries or what?
Okay. Yemen, do you understand the question and you want to respond?
First of all, that question is not direct to Yemen. So I do not know that Vietnam will raise the card, so I raise the card and I want to say another idea. Okay. So if the chairman wants me to answer, then fine. Dear Vietnam and US and Japan and China developed countries. Wait, Vietnam is not developed country, sorry. You said that you asked that we want to trade to have more money or what? We just want to make the idea more clear that we want trade to make specific countries to give more money. Right now, China, US, and Japan are having a conversation between because discussion to divide the money. We want to direct to US and Japan to give more money than China, so that after that, our countries like South Sudan or Yemen can help directly to US and Japan and we can become allies and we can have more trading to make better economy. And the idea that I want to talk about is that if the development of the countries in the world is not too different, like it's not too many gaps, then developed countries will have the chance to develop more than just now, because at that time the demand of human will increase. The demand of human in developing countries will increase. So there will be more benefits for you guys if you guys help us right now more. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Liên. Vietnam, please.
The South Sudan has said that like the war in Yemen and South Sudan has ended. So like war conflict is not the urgent problems right now. So I think that they should receive the same amount. Like, of money, like all 4 countries. Same.
So you're suggesting 25
Yes.
each. Thank you, Vietnam. South Sudan.
Because the civil has impact in the future and now it's become longer because the civil is impact to us. I think we have more hunger in Vietnam because it's impact to us. So I think it should be more.
Okay. Thank you, South Sudan. Vietnam.
Like also like as South Sudan and Yemen has said that they are at the privilege for like material resource, and but like Vietnam is having like it's suffering from massive floodings, so it's the geography of Vietnam is worse than those 2 countries, and also yes, you can have the ability to sell resource, so oil, and also that Vietnam has been through a lot of war in a long period of time, while Yemen and South Sudan just gone through like 10 years water, according to my knowledge. So, so again, I want to restate that every country should receive same rights.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vietnam. Yemen, please.
You know what? Our country have flood too. We have earthquake. We have flood more than you. According to the earthquake website, it's called worldwideweb.earthquake.org. It's true, don't laugh. Like,
Delegate, please.
according to the list that I have read, that Yemen have researched about, the amount of people that suffer from flood, the most country, according to the ranking of the countries that have the more people suffer from flood, Vietnam stands behind Yemen and South Sudan. Yemen don't have as much flood as South Sudan, but we have earthquake. Because we near, I don't know, just look at the map and you will know our geographical factors. You said that that's the reason why you should receive the same amount of funds, right? But compared to 1 million with 13 and 14 million here, I don't want to say that you're bad at math, but it's true. Do you know that that amount of money, $25 billion for 1 million people and for 13 or 14 million people is so different that it can kill a lot more people? You said that it would be fair. Be fair in what way? If you just say like that, if you just compare so bad about us, you only say good thing about your country and you want more money than us. I said more money than us, it means that compared to 1 million and 13 to 14 million. But think about, if you said about the natural disaster cause hunger, then we have more natural disaster than you. Thank you.
Thank you, Yemen. Okay. We will move into the unmoderated caucus in 5 minutes, unless you request for more time. But does any other delegates want to raise a point? Japan, please, you recognize this one.
As Yemen says that Yemen and South Sudan have many disasters like earthquake, and as everybody know that Japan suffered in all that disaster the most, and we still have the third highest GDP in the world. So it's not mean that the disaster make your country cannot develop. Yeah.
Thank you, Japan. Yemen.
Thank you, Japan, for this idea. We split sympathy with Vietnam for flood, but we sympathy with you for earthquake. You are a country that have a long lifespan. I mean, the age is already quite old, and you have more experience than us to deal with this earthquake. You see that your countries have more population than us. Then the earthquake, the same effect of the earthquake compared to the same amount of the same effect from the earthquake affect the smaller population compared to the same amount of the effect from the earthquake compared to the bigger population. It will be so much different. Thank you.
Thank you, Yemen. this is the expired time for moderated caucus, unless someone wants to request for more time. United States, are you
So-
requesting for more time?
Yes,
How much?
about 5 more minutes.
Approved.
Thank you. So Yemen, you talk about your civil war. In South Sudan, you talk about your civil war. But you should remember that the U.S. directly set the war for Vietnam during the 20th century. So the U.S. thinks that the states should take responsibility of Vietnam poverty. So I propose that the U.S. should will donate to Vietnam 25 billion US dollars because of our responsibility for Vietnam poverty.
Yemen.
Your country gives war to Vietnam,
Yes.
and you have the responsible for that. But as I said, you are the one who sell the weapon. You give a small amount of money like that, just like an ant, and then you give a big amount of money like that to Vietnam because you guys are alive. But don't you think about the number of people who are in hungry right now? We are world hunger. We're talking about the problem of the global. We're not talking about war in the past. We have to look in the future.
Okay. Thank you, Yemen. United States, you may now have the floor.
Firstly, the U.S. sells weapons to Saudi Arabia. That is one of our best friends, okay? And Yemen, it has been civil war with that country, not the U.S. Secondly, Russia is selling weapons to some of the countries around the world, and no other countries say that Russia should be responsible for their civil war or something like that. And you said that you should look to the future, but never forget the past, because without the past we will never have the future. Okay.
Thank you. You shall move into the moderated caucus. Please, South Sudan.
So, U.S. You said you sell the weapon for some country to have war, and did you say about your problem in your country is a small? So, did you control the people in your country, and why the people in your country sell the weapon to us? And you don't know about that. Did you control the government? Your government control the people in your country, and so let's compare about. You give more weapon other country than our country. So
Okay. Thank you, South Sudan.
Point of information, I don't understand what you said.
Thank you, the U.S. You shall have a private conversation with South Sudan in moderated caucus, okay? Thank you, delegates. We shall now move into the unmoderated caucus for subtopic 2. Any delegates is there any request, second or objections for this motion?
Second.
Second.
Thank you, delegates. We will now move into the unmoderated caucus for subtopic 2. You have 15 minutes for this part to draft your resolution. If you want more time, just request. Please raise your placard if you wish to speak on the issue. First. Okay, I will choose. Now, please let me introduce the representative for the first resolution from the country of South Sudan, Yemen, Somalia, and China.
Dear Ms. Chairman, Secretary, and other delegates, as a representative of South Sudan, Yemen, China, and Somalia, we would like to give the resolution right now. We are acknowledging that the existence of global hunger is horrendous effects in terms of leading to an overwhelming number of undernourished. We are also concerned by the rate of fatalities by poverty is immensely high. We deploring that the act of overcompensating in military fund with a rough of estimation up to trillions. Affirming that nations would recognize existing starvation issues or own deserving of the UN concern to the extreme. Here is our resolution. We are strongly encourage developed countries to donate aid in terms of food as short-term solution to feed people first as the top most important thing that we have to do first before we can do anything else. Notes that developed countries have to help us with education in farming and growing crops so that in the future you don't have to help us anymore because we can do it on our own. We remind developed countries that we promise to use the aid that you give wisely and only focus on hunger, not for other purpose. We welcome developed countries to give aid to us so that you guys can both receive trade from us like natural resources, for example, crude oil. And we sure that this will happen continuously from year to year. We do not stop that. To more specific, Yemen and South Sudan as a country that located near the other countries that have a lot of crude oil will promise to become a place for developed countries to transfer. We demand developed countries to give aid as medical to solve health problems. For example, vaccination programs, free medical camps, health awareness campaign. We adopt developed countries would purchase the same amount of money in the budget of $100 billion. And developing countries would receive the amount of money that adequate with the number in hungry in each country. To more specific, as we said that South Sudan and Yemen have the most hungry people, so that will receive $32 to $35 billion. Somalia will receive 20 and Vietnam will have 30. As Vietnam have the least hungry people, they will receive the least. And therefore, China as an important part of our allies, they promised that they will support Vietnam to exploit the natural resources in the South China Sea. Because we all know that China is now have more power in that area. That is our solution. And after this, we promise you that we will have a good trade between developed countries and developing countries, and we will have both benefits. So help us with hunger right now, and you have a better future. Thank you.
Are there any questions or inputs for the resolution coming from this delegate? No? Thank you very much, delegates from Yemen. And thank you very much, delegate from China, Somalia, Yemen, and South Sudan for contributing to doing this resolution. We are now proceeding into the next representation for the next solution from delegates of United States, Vietnam, and Japan. You may now have the floor to speak about your resolution.
After our debates, we decide to have four solutions. First is developing countries can choose two solutions. One is long-term solution, that is giving agricultural technologies so that countries can grow lands and then they can export or they can produce food by themselves. Another option is short-term solutions, giving food aid yearly until hunger is completely
Vanished.
vanish. And then government. Second, we propose that government should exempt citizens from perishable goods taxes, so that poor people can get access to food easily, allowing developing countries to borrow money with the lowest interest rates, and about the $100 billion, like the developed countries decide to donate $50 billion for our allies without any compulsory trade or privilege in buying natural resources.
United States. Oh,
We understand.
okay.
Define out. Yep.
What do you mean allies? Are they your allies?
If they accept, if they agree with our resolution, then they will become our allies.
Okay. So the U.S. promised to give
Each
The
of
allies.
the US allies,
in
50 billion US
50
dollars.
billion if they agree with your solution.
Yeah, and the Japan
Okay.
will donate the same amount of money
So each of you $50 billion
for each of our allies.
for each of your allies. So you're going to share. So 50 billions per each country
Yes,
if they agree with your
solution.
okay? Very good.
Very generous.
Thank you very much, United States.
Nhưng mà đây là developed country chứ không phải developing countries cho. Nhưng mà
Ok.
mỗi nước chỉ cho 50 chứ đâu có 100 đâu. Đúng không? Đúng không? Thì mỗi nước là nhận 100 mỗi nước.
Yeah.
So, do you acknowledge that by declaring that you're promising to give $200 billion for developing countries
Yes.
Without
any compulsory trade.
without any compulsory trade?
And privilege in buying their natural resources.
Oh, so if they agree with your resolution, you will give them
Yes.
50. Okay.
Each of them.
All right. Thank you very much, the United States. So we now resume the voting round. Yemen, as you the representative of the first resolution, please stand up. Any delegates who would like to vote for the first resolution presented by Yemen? Any delegates who would like to vote for the first resolution presented by Yemen?
We can.
Yeah, you're voting now. Like, you guys can vote too. So any delegates who would like to vote? You can vote too. Oh, the first one, presented by you. Okay. Who vote? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. South Sudan, you're not voting? You're not voting?
Yeah.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you very much, delegates. Who would like to vote for, oh, Vietnam, ask you the representative of the second solution, please stand up. Any delegates who would like to vote for the second resolution, please raise your placard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you, delegates. The results of the final voting round for the two resolution is 4 for the first resolution and 5 for the second resolution. The UN will now decide to adopt the second resolution to be the official resolution that we're going to use to tackle world hunger.
Yay!
Tiền không phải vấn đề. Tiền không phải là vấn đề.
Tiền nữa làm gì?
Sẽ.
I thought we had to choose the winner based on whose policy statement looks most like the resolution. Does it, in deciding the winner, we have to compare the policy statements to your recently made resolutions. Does anyone believe that their policy statement most matches the resolution?
Let me remember.
Can you verify our
Compare the point here.
I'll verify, but,
I think you know it the best.
so everyone should look at their policy statement and look at section 4 to see if it matches your
Không, em
resolution.
không có nằm trong này đâu thầy. Chứ ngay từ đầu em đã có rồi.
Cái này chơi lớn rồi.
Wait,
Cái này tụi anh.
so Yemen,
4 out of 6 in this resolution is same as mine. So what's the gender?
so I mean the winning
Đấy là cái
solution.
này. F2 over 4.
2 over 4.
Yeah. Of this solution.
Okay.
This is the second solution.
So the US 2 over 4. How about Japan?
1 over 4.
1 over 4. Vietnam?
0.
2 over 4.
Ủa em có cái nào?
So 200 points match your resolution?
How about hey, South Sudan?
Nhưng mà em là
South Sudan.
thì nhưng mà em sẽ chỉ cho là cái
Have you heard like the resolution?
one thì còn cho là
No.
The four of you,
còn ăn là đồng ý cho mọi
do your policy statement
1 over 4.
sound similar to the resolution that they said?
ý là policy
If so,
những
how
gì
many
này.
points are similar?
Do you have your policy statement?
Yeah.
So does your policy statement similar to the proposed solution?
1 over 4.
1 over
1
4.
point?
How about you?
Somalia?
Can we buy the resolution?
Does your the policy statement that you emailed me, is
Hey,
it
give it to her.
similar at all to the resolution?
You can read it.
Everyone?
This is the last time you're gonna see Miss Stephanie like
Really?
in this class. Yeah, she has
How
to
in this
go.
class?
In this class, not in the other class. So please.
You guys all did a very good job.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna close this ceremony. So, all of you guys did a great job, and we're really proud of how you put all you've learned into this conference. The winning team for this conference is US, Japan, and Vietnam. Congratulations. The individual winner for this resolution, based on the matching between their policy statement and the final resolution, is of course the US, and South Sudan is 1 over 4, right? Yeah, so it's also the US. But I would like to
Thank you.
specifically compliment the performance of Yemen, of Vietnam, and all of you guys, and South Sudan. All of you guys did a great job, but these countries are really contributed into this conference, and I'm really glad that you guys had a great time here, okay? All right.